Hi everyone. So I'm going to make a 6-point star blanket. Going to be small. The one I'm going to make for a baby or lap blanket or that kind of thing. So I'm going to start by just making a slip knot, putting it on the first peg, and then my yarn can sit here while I tell you what loom I'm using. So I'm using a Cindy Wood 40 peg 3/4 inch loom. So it's the same gauge as the Nifty Knitters, the big circle. And then I'm using a bulky yarn, and this is Mary Maxim Marvelous in the color Chocolate Mint. And I was trying to figure out the proportions I want, because I'm not doing it 10 stitch style, which would be when it's all connected and you keep going around. I'm going to do it in a style where you add on, but I am going to use some of the techniques you use in 10 stitches, but they're the same techniques you'd use in socks and things too, where just doing mitered corners. So for proportions, I figured that I would do it 8 pegs to start for my centerpiece, because I don't want my centerpiece to be too large. I want it a certain kind of a balance. But you're welcome, once you watch the whole video, to make it any way that you want to, because you're totally in control of how big or small every section is. Okay, so we've got the first peg on, and you can cast on. I'm just going to cast on the way I usually cast on, but you can cast on any way. This is basically going to be a peg that you end up joining at the end. You're going to be joining this end, so it doesn't really matter too much what cast on you use. Just use one that you find easy to connect. And so I'm just going to take my working yarn and go behind the peg and just snug it up, and then I'm just going to snug it up all the way along. And I like 10 stitch blankets a lot, but what I like about them is that I'm starting in the center and going out, and I don't have to decide the exact width or length I want it to be, because it keeps growing as I go. And this style will grow as I go, and I didn't want to do 10 stitch because Scarlet Royale already has a really nice 5-star 10 stitch blanket out there, and she's figured out how to have it work with the 10 stitch. I'm just going to have mine work as one where you add on all the sides, and I figured it'll be fun to do. So I've cast it on, and I'm already going to start with the pattern. So what I'm going to do is, this will be the first peg. We're going to do a corner 1. So a corner 1, part 1, is we're going to work, and we're going to keep taking a peg out, work, take another peg out, work, take another peg out, work, take another peg out. The first peg I'm going to take out, and I use German corners, is this one, and I've knitted over it, so I'm just going to give it a tug. And I want to give it a tug so that I can see this kind of a sideways arrow or a sideways V. Want to get this V shape, and then we're just going to go over this peg and knit it over in a U-wrap. So we did a U-wrap, and we're going to come around and wrap it again, because we're using owl eye stitch, and we're going to wrap the next peg and then just knit them off. So here's how you do owl eye. Whatever peg you're on, we call peg 1, we go and we wrap peg 1, and we wrap over peg 2, we keep it loose and just knit them off. We're on peg 1, we wrap in front of peg 1, front of peg 2, knit them over, wrap peg 1, front of peg 1, front of peg 2, knit it over, front of peg 1, knit 1 and 2 over, and then the last one we just knit over. And then I'm just going to turn around and go over these two again and knit them over. And I'm just going to knit down to the next peg. From the end, because this one's already done as a German short row. We knit over, and then we take this and give it a tug until we get the V. And you can keep the V's open if you'd like, because it'll help you to know that this one's already done. But if you tried to knit it over, you'd find it a lot tighter, so you would know that that one had already been done. And then we do the first wrap here for our owl eye, and then around the two of them, and we just knit to the end, and we just keep doing that. And I don't want this video to be so long it takes days to upload to YouTube, so I am going to be pausing it when we're just doing repetitious work a lot. But I'll go down and pick up the next peg just to make sure that you know what you need to do here. So we're just going to go down, doing the owl eye stitch down to the next peg that we're going to do a German short row with, and give it a tug, getting the V here. See, there it is. And we have our V's. And then we just knit over again, and knit our way up, and we'll keep doing that until we get up to here. So I'm just gonna pause it and we'll catch up. Okay, so here I am, and I just have to pick up this one now. So I come over, the rest of these are all V'd. Come over and put that into the German short row, and then I am done. I have done part one of a corner. So now we need to do corner part two. So we come over and we just pick up the stitch, and then we just come back like that. And there's a little gear at the bottom right hand corner. If you need to slow down anything to see what I'm doing, you can just click on that and you'll be able to slow it down. So now I'm going to come back and pick up the third peg. So I knit over this one, and over this one, and over this one, an owl eye stitch, and pick up the next one, and then I come back. And I come back to pick up the next one. And I'm just keeping it nice and tight because I want my corners to look good. And then I'm just going to put it on pause, and you just keep doing that, going back over and picking up the next one. And when you've worked all the way down and you're ready to pick up the last one here, we'll catch up again. Okay, so here I am, and I'm coming down. I'm about to pick up this last one. And there's our point for our corner right there. And the point where we're going to connect it, and our first point. And then we come back, and this is the last row to finish off corner part one and corner part two. We get back up to here, and we're done the first corner part one and two. So we've done our first corner. Okay, so that's our first corner part 1 and corner part 2. So this is our first point right here. And we need to do this 5 more times because we need a total of 6 corners. So we'll go down. We just immediately have come up, so now we're going to go down and start our second corner part 1. And we go down to the last peg and we do our German short row, pulling it up into the V. There's the V right there. And knit it over, and that's the beginning of corner part 1. And you already know how to do corner part 1 and 2. You can rewind the video to watch doing it again, but you do it a total of 6 times. So you do corner part 1 and 2 6 times to get 6 corner pieces. So we'll catch up and you'll have a piece that's got the 6 pieces, 6 of these, and then we're ready to do the next part. But before we do that, I can show you how nice our corner is. There's our corner. It's just beautiful, no holes or anything in it. It's a really, really beautiful corner that the German corners make with owl eye stitch. Beautiful. And here's what our other side looks like. It looks nice. Okay, so we'll catch up after you've got your 6 pieces done and go to the next step. Okay, so I've got my 6 corners done. Now you'll have a piece like this. There. And you've got all these pieces that are going to be your star points. And so what we need to do now is bind this off, because we'll have to sew this and this together to get the initial middle. So you can do any bind off you want. You're just going to join them together. I'm just going to do a basic bind off. So I've already done a knit on this one, so I'm just going to take this off and put it on this one and do it nice and loose. Knit this one off, you wrap around it, take this off, and I'm going to keep it nice and loose. So as you can see, it's nice and loose. But any bind off will do. Whatever you like to do. Stretchy bind off will work fine. And we're done, and I'm going to cut it so that I have enough length to sew them together. Okay, and then I'll just put you on pause while I get set up with my needle. Hello, so I'm set up and I've just threaded a needle, and so what we have to do is attach these 2 pieces. I'm on the back side, and we also have to sew up the middle, so you can use any method that you like. And so I want to make sure that I get both of the side loops on both sides and draw them together so that on this side it's going to look nice. So the method that I'm going to use is I'm going to use the thread that was left from when I bound on at the beginning to sew up as far as it'll go, and then I'll use this one to sew up the hole, and if there's any more here, do it. So I'm just going to find the 2 end loops here, right there, and I want to make sure that I just have these lined up perfect. And a dark color for me to sew, but I'm going to come up, so I'm already up, and then I'm going to go down through both of the loops and go over to this side and make sure that I come up right in the corner and draw them together, and I'm just going to check and make sure that they are flush against each other. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure that I have both of these side loops. So I'm going to go find them. There, got them. So I'm going to go up through them and then down the next set. And then I'm going to go up the first set over here and down the next set of 2. And then I'm going to go back to where I came from on the other side and go up it, and then go down the next set of loops, and then back to where I came out on this side and go up it, and then down the next set of loops. And then we'll be drawing it together so that these come together. Nice. Right now I'm doing it loose, but as you see when I draw it in, that these are coming together, and that's what we want. So I'm just going to let you go ahead then and sew it, and when you get here, you're just going to kind of draw this in and make sure you pick up all the loops and that this side looks good. And then when we have it all sewed together and this piece done, I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I've got it all closed up and I've got my 2 ends, so I'm just going to weave them in. And I made sure I did knot it in a way that you really wouldn't feel it. And so I'm just weaving in my ends, and then I'll cut them off, and then we're ready for the next part. And then I'm just going to cut them off. And here's our first part, and I didn't worry too much about this being a little loose here, because when we come and pick it up, I want to be able to find the loops that I'm going to pick up, so I'm going to make sure they were still there. And so I didn't want to put yarn through them to attach them. I want to have them here so we won't see that. That will actually join up in the blanket. And then this just looks like this, so you're not really going to notice it at all. And there's our 6-point star beginning. We're going to be going around it. We're going to be putting our yarn on the loom, and then we're going to pick this up just like you'd pick up a 10 stitch, or how you'd pick up a blanket if you were going to border or do an edge with the loom knitting. And then we'll be picking up the loops. So just get the loom and our yarn, and we're going to need to cast on again. And I did 8 stitches, so then we have to decide, do we want to continue with 8 stitches, because 8 stitches is going to give us a width of half of this approximately, and we're going to be going around it, and I'm thinking I might go to 10 and do 10 around it. Or I could just split the difference and do 9. So maybe I'll do 9. Decisions, but I'm on quite a wide gauge loom. If any of you are on a smaller loom, 5/8 or something like that, 10 would be a lot smaller than it is on such a big gauge loom like I have with the 3/4 inch loom. So I'm just going to cast on. Now, to pick it up, this is what you're going to need to decide. We're going to start in about the middle of it to pick up a stitch, and we're going to find the places we pick up. So I'm just going to open these up for you. It's kind of dark. I'll do it against the loom so we have something light behind it. Okay, so there's a hole there. There's a hole there. You can see that with my fingers. I'm opening up, and so here's the edge and the hole, and up above it is the 2 loops that you're going to be picking up right there, these 2 loops. I'm going to open them all up so that you can see them. This is where we're going to be picking up the stitches. Everywhere you see that I've made a hole here. These are all the stitches. So you have a couple bars coming down here between them, and then another hole, and right there is the 2 stitches that we'll be picking up. Right there, above the hole. So that's where they are. And we're going to be doing corners, so we're going to need to mark our corners, but until we decide how we're going to do this, we won't mark them. So I want to pick it up on this end peg and be picking up the stitches as I go and going along this way, because this is the way that I like to go with it here. So when I bind on, I'm going to bind on this way so that when I knit down here, I can pick them up and go this way, because it's the way I like to do it. If you're going to pick it up on this peg, which you can do, you can pick it up and go this way if that's easier for you, and go around that way. Then you're going to want to cast on the other way, but I'm going to do this. So I'm just going to leave it on here for now, and I'm going to make this slip knot, and I've got it marked for 8 pegs, but I'm going to do 9. So I'm going to move my marker 1, and this marker is the peg I'm going to be picking up on as well. So I'm just going to cast on. And I guess I don't want to lose my needle, so I'm just put it right there. I lose those needles all the time. I'm going to put the yarn through here and put it around the back and tighten this up, and whoop, put this behind here and put the working yarn through. There we go. Take that off, and then go behind this one, working yarn through, behind this one, working yarn through, and you can use any cast on you like, because we'll be joining it up at the end. I like this one, and I'm just going to knit this over. This dark peg here. Okay. And tighten that up. Okay, and then I'm going to put the loop on, and I just want a loop about in the middle, and I want the good part of the work facing me, so the good side. So this is the other side. It's the side that we sewed up, and you can see this is where we joined, and I'm just going to slip that on the loom just like that. And then I'm going to start doing the owl eye. And I'm just going to do the owl eye stitch. As I go down. Now I don't want to have my ridge really big. So when I join it, I'm going to use the Tamsin join. So how I do that is I'm going to take this yarn and just loop it over so that when I get down here, I have less yarn to go over. And that will make my join thinner. So Tamsin Stratford created the join, gave me permission to use it. There we go. And now that one's on, and we come back, and I usually go to the third peg, and I do that because that way I'm going to remember which direction I'm going and what I'm doing, because I do it the same way all the time. And I'm going to take the next loop. Now you can mark these if you're going to get confused, but this one, if I pull on it, I see that it's pulling on this yarn that's around this peg. So this is the one that we've gone through already. So I want the next one. And I put it on. And you can put stitch markers in all of these if you have trouble doing that. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put you on pause. I'm going to get my stitch markers, and we're going to mark our corners because they are important to mark. Okay, so I want to mark it. So we're picking up as we go along this way. So here's the corner. So what I do is I pull the corner so I can see where the first holes are. So here and here they are, and this is all the work that was the corner. So this is the last yarn that we're going to pick up before we do our corner, and this will be the first stitch we pick up. So the most important thing to mark is the first stitches we'll pick up. So we go in the hole, and what I'm picking up are these 2 strands of yarn and putting a stitch marker in them. And so when I get to the last stitch, I do my corner, and I know this is the first one I pick up, because once we do the corner, this is going to actually move, so it's way down. It's going to be hard for you to see that this was the corner and this was the stitch. So these are the important ones to mark. And I'm going to go down to this one and pull on it like that and find my 2 corners. There's one there, so this one will be in about the same spot over here. There it is. Pull the corner out, and there they are. And so there's the place where I'm going to put this, and I've marked the first stitch we pick up. And I'm going to go down here, pull on the corner, find a stitch there, but I want the stitch over here. There it is, and there's the 2 bars, and put in my stitch marker there, and then I'll have them all marked. And then we go down to this one. There's the one on this side over here, so it's going to be about here. There it is. And put in my stitch marker, and there it is there. Put in my stitch marker, and we're going this way. So it's going to be on this side because this one's going to be harder to mark. And there it is. And put this in. And now these are all marked, and it's going to make it easy for us to see when we do our corners, so they're all in the right spot. Okay, so we're going to go back. Sorry, that's my air conditioner coming on. It's a little loud, but it's really hot in here, so sorry, you'll just have to bear with the noise. I'll try to speak up so you can hear me well. And we come back down an ally stitch. And parrot's making cute little chirps there. Not sure which one it is, but I think it's my female. Okay, and then when I get this close, I'm going to knit this one over, so we have the flatter Tamsin join. And knit it off. And then I'm going to pick up the next one, and this is the one attached, so this is the next one right here. And put it on. And I put it on a bit early there. I usually do it at the third bag. And basically that's what we keep doing that until we get to the corner. And the corners are going to be done just like we did the corners on the central piece. There's a corner 1 and 2 at every corner. Okay, so I'm going to stop at the third peg here. And just knit this over because I'm going to put it on pause, but I'm just going to keep going until I get down to here. So I got to pick up 1, 2, 3 more loops. So when I've picked this one up and I'm ready to do the corner, we'll catch back up. Okay, so here I am about to pick up the last loops before the corner. Here's the corner right there, and this is the last one, and then this is the first one after we do the corner. So I'm just going to go down and pick that up, and I've already knit the one piece over to have the flatter join. And I'm just going to come down and knit it off, and we knit back to the front, and then we do our corner part 1 and corner part 2. So I'm just going to start you off, but you know how to do the corner part 1 and 2. I'm going to do it exactly the same, doing the German corners. At least that's the way I'm doing it. I mean, you can decide to do a different corner. Well, I'm just knitting down in ally stitch. And I get down to this peg, and I pull to get that V for the corner. So it's hard to see the V because I've got this piece so close, but there it is. And knit back. And it's nice and tight. Okay, so you know how to do corner 1 and 2. If you have to, you can go back, but you did enough there, you should be remembering how to do them. So we're just going to do our corner part 1 and 2, and then we'll get back and I'll show you how to connect that one. Okay, I'm just finishing off the corner. The corner. And so I'm picking up the last stitch right here with the V. And then I just knit back. So I'm just going to knit back to the 3rd peg, doing owlie. And now it's time to start picking up again. And like I told you, this is going to drop way over here, and it's going to be hard to see where that corner was. See how it looks now? That's why it's so important to put these stitch markers in here. So I'm going to pick it up and put it on. And then I can just take the stitch marker off. And knit the bottom over the top, because we're doing the flat join, and it'll hold it on now because it's knit on. And we can take a look at it. And just put this here with the needle for now. So here's the corner that we made right up here. And here's where we're joining onto the blanket. And as you can see here, it's a nice flat join. On this side it is flat, and on this side it's flat. So it's a nice join for this type of blanket. And there's the corner. It's joined right onto the new corner that we did. And because it's stretched out in the loom, you can't see it. But we're going to keep going around the blanket. So this is the way I'm picking up along this side. So we're going to keep picking up around the blanket, get up to here, do our corner 1, 2, first stitch we pick up, we're picking up along this side, get over here to the stitch right there, do our corner 1 and 2, that'll be the first stitch we pick up, and then when we go over here, we'll have a stitch here and we'll have a stitch here, and we pick them up. These will join up perfectly and you won't see it, and we keep going around actually. And we pick up the corner here and here and pick up to there, and then we'll be joining up our ends. So I will catch up to you when I've gone all the way down and I'm getting close to the end here. And in the meantime, we just keep going, and we're just going to keep picking up as we go. So I've got the first stitch picked up, I'll go back, knit it over, and I'll be picking up as I go along the edge all the way to here, and then it'll be corner 1 and 2. So we're just going to keep doing the very same thing that we did here all the way around the blanket, and we'll be putting a another layer on the blanket. Okay, so we'll catch up when we've gone around the blanket. Hello, so I've gone a little ways further, and I wanted to, it's far enough that you can see what we're doing, because otherwise it just looks like, what the heck are we connecting? It looks like this weird thing here. But I want to go far enough to show you. So this is the star here, the original 6-point star that we did. And here's where we're adding. So now if you look at it, here we go. Come here and look at it. You'll see that, and here's where we're adding on, and here's where we've come. There's our flattened join here. You can see it, but it is fairly flat. But as you can see, here was the point, one of the points to the 6-point star, and we've come around and we've made another point out here, so we're just coming around, bordering it. Okay? So now you can see it better. And so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to keep coming around and bordering it and doing our corner part 1 and 2, and then picking up again. Corner 1 and 2, picking up the stitches. Corner 1 and 2, picking up the stitches, all the way till we get here. And then when we get here, we'll have a long piece, and then we'll just be attaching them same way that we did in here when we attach this together. So that's what basically we're going to be doing, but we'll go around until we're ready to take this off and show you, and then we can put on the next row. And then when we put on the next row, you're going to be making your decision. Do I want to stay at 9? Do I want to do it little? You can measure how big it's getting and decide how many stitches you want to do. And you'll get a different look to it. Unlike doing a 10 stitch, this one is a lot easier because you're starting a new row. It can be as wide or as thin as you want. This could have been made a lot bigger, so you have a great big 6-point star with a thinner strip around it. And I probably will do others that are like that, because I'm really liking this. So anyway, that's how we look now. So we'll catch up when we're gone all the way around and have this attached, and take a look at it and get ready to do the third round. Okay, so I will see you then. Okay, so I have gotten quite far here, and so I've gone all the way down and done the last corner, and that leaves only doing this piece down to here, and then I'll be able to join it to the piece there. So turn it like this, and here's the last corner there that I did. And so I'm picking up the first stitch on this little side here, and so I'm just going down to there. And so when we get down to there, we're coming up like this, so we'll be like this, and then you just bind off, and then you'll be joining those two pieces. So I just wanted to remind you of that, and I've gone ahead and marked all my new ends as I've gone and picked this all up. So they're all marked, but can kind of take more of a look because most of the star blanket is all here. And as you can see, that it is indeed going to be a nice 6-point star. Got the corner there, and here's the last corner, and then we just have to attach the two pieces together as soon as I finish picking up that side, and then we'll have the first round done, and we just bind it off and join it and put it back on the loom and do another round and go as long as we want and get it as big as we want. I'm really happy with how it's looking. Yeah, you can see most of it. There, I'll turn the loom like that. There. You can see most of it, I think. So just, that's all we do is put it back on the loom. We'll be putting it back on the loom same way, taking an edge and putting it back on and doing the same thing and going around and around and around. And certainly it would look good doing different colors in each of these. You could keep changing colors and make it look different. I wanted it all in the same color. I really like this chocolate mint yarn. I just think it's so pretty. I'm doing it all in the chocolate mint, but it would look good done other ways. And you can see, you know, clearly where we picked it up here, but I used the more flattened Tamsin join, so it's a lot, feels flatter to the touch. You don't have too much of a ridge there, but you do see the shape, especially because you know, not that the ridge is that big, but the stitches or colors are changing, you know, as well as directions of stitches in some places. But there we go. So I'm just going to finish this off now and bind it off and attach it, and we'll be able to take a better look at it. Okay, so I've got it off the loom and I attached it, right there. It's attached. And so here's what it looks like, as best as I can do from where we are right here. But I'll have a picture that will show it better. And so you can see that it is a 6-point blanket. And it follows the 6-point blanket here all around. And then I'll just be putting it back on the loom. So it's the same way we did before. Cast on the amount of stitches you want it to be. Cast it on and come back, and then attach it on the peg. And if you've more stitches, you'll move that down and you'll attach it, and you'll do it the same way with it facing you, and just start somewhere in the middle of 2 corners. And you'll just find a loop and put it on and attach it the same way and keep going. And that's all there is to doing it, and you just get it bigger, as big as you want it to be. It will never lay completely flat, but it'll be pretty flat, and it will just have sort of a nice drape. Of course, can't do that on my lap, but we'll just have kind of a nice drape. And you'll see the stars, but you'll see that in the picture that was on this. So yes, it's a lot of fun to make, and hope you enjoyed watching me make it. This may be the end of the video, so it may be goodbye, or I may come on after I've done more and show it. It all depends how long this video is, and because it takes a long time to upload big videos, and I did show the whole blanket process from the beginning of it. Okay, so we will see you.